Good afternoon, everybody. So what's driving the critical minerals rush? I'll give you a clue, it's two words, and it isn't artificial intelligence. It's the energy transition. So we track global investments in the energy transition every year. It's now $2.1 trillion per annum. It's a pretty amazing number, up 11% from the year before. And even more amazing is that 93% of the 2.1 trillion went into just 4 different areas. It went into renewable energy, storage, electrified transport, and the grid. So really, that's what's driving the uptick in minerals. And it's driven by these cost curves, so tremendous cost curves coming down. So battery packs came down 20% in 1 year last year. Solar was down 60% since 2023. So huge reductions in costs. And that's the past, but what about the future? So when we look into the future, we do forecasts. The no transition is where emissions would be if you just follow economics, because this clean technology is getting cheaper and cheaper. You'll see this economic transition scenario line. And pretty much all of that investment's going into clean power and electrification. So that's really where economics is going to take us. And in terms of the grid, we're going to see a doubling of investment. So from about a 300 billion run rate to about a 600 billion run rate. It's going to be 29 million kilometers of new grid being built between now and mid-century. That's half as much again as all the grid we have now. So it's pretty significant. And so you can see, if you just look at the top line of that chart, you'll see these are the technologies really driving demand: solar, wind, batteries, and passenger vehicles. And if we just look at passenger vehicles for a moment, this is our forecast of EV sales. And what you'll see is the dotted line is the global average. We're already at about 20% of sales being electric vehicles. And by 2030, that's going to be about 40% of sales are going to be electric vehicles. Pretty amazing. It's actually double that in China, but even on an average basis, it's 40%. And what that drives is batteries. So this is how battery uptake is going to be. It's about a 3 or 4-fold increase in the next decade. If you look on the right, you can see the driver. So passenger vehicles is the biggest piece of that in sky blue. But it's also going to be relevant to commercial vehicles, buses, 2- and 3-wheelers, and also stationary storage. And what that does is drive this, which is the metals that make up those components. So again, it's about a 2.5-fold increase between today and 2035. And you can see on the right-hand side, these are all the metals and minerals that are going to be needed. So huge growth rate in that. That's really what we mean by the rush. So metals and minerals are absolutely going to be key to the energy transition. This maps those key technologies that you're seeing scaling to all of the different demands that they place on metals. And there's 3 things I'd like to call out. One is obviously the demand growth. The left-hand chart, again, is just where economics take you. So you're going to see, over 100 million metric tons of transition metals being required just through economics alone. If people really want to aim for net zero again, you can see how much big an increase that is. So one is demand. 2 is exploration. So the dark line is where minerals will be without the transition. You add the transition in, and you can see increased depletion. So you're going to need more and more exploration to replace that. And finally, what you're going to see is a lot more recycling. So again, it's in percentage terms not going to rise. So you look, this is pretty flat. You're going to see this massive scaling in metals, but recycling is going to be a key component of that. So again, it's going to be grow alongside the metal demand. So the question really is how can Africa benefit from this? We've heard before sort of how well endowed it is from a metals and minerals perspective, but really, what are the policies that are needed to really make economic good out of this? How is investment going to be attracted? And importantly, how do we do this? How do we do this scaling without causing environmental issues? So I'm going to tee that up, and now you're going to have an amazing panel to talk about those issues and more. Thank you very much.